Hey guys, I am John Carrick. I am the author of The Legacy of a Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox, amazing science fiction fantasy novels for you on Amazon or on Smashwords or here on YouTube as audiobooks for you to listen to for your listening pleasure, my gift to you. And if today is your birthday, don't wait till next year to celebrate it. Every day at this time, at your month and day, at that hour and minute, celebrate your happy birthday minute. Only if today's your birthday. Whatever your birthday is. Today we have something very, very, very special. This is Conan the Barbarian number 22 by Barry Windsor Smith. Some of you may already know what I'm about to tell you. I did not know this. I found out a while back. And I shopped around and I finally found one that looked good enough to bring on, but not expensive enough to break the bank. This is Conan the Barbarian number 22. You want to know what's so special about this? Well, if you want to take a moment and go ahead and read some of what is written there, this is Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith, Conan the Barbarian. This is great. Check this out. This is a reprint of the very... Got a loud neighbor. This is a reprint of the very first issue. So a little under 2 years in, something happened and it says, due to unforeseen circumstances, blardy blardy blar, we are giving you guys a reprint of Conan the Barbarian number 1. So, while I don't yet have a $1,000 copy, which is what I want to get and review on this channel, we are getting the next best thing. This is from 1972, I think. And this is maybe 1973. This is Conan the Barbarian number 1. I thought that this issue was the Battle of Venarium. Not Vanheim, Venarium. Sounds like a venereal disease, doesn't it? I thought that's what this story was, and I never looked this up digitally. Look, I have it. I have it on my computer right now. I only look up the digital comics that I've already read because, well, for one thing, I don't have a lot of time. That's not quite true. I do modern comics that way. I'll read them if I'm interested. I'll look at them if I want to buy them, but I don't like reading comics digitally. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like reading digitally. I'd rather listen to an audiobook. I haven't read a novel in my hand since well, maybe CDs. That's not fair. DVDs, since the audiobooks became really easy to get. But I've also, you know what? It's like I stopped playing video games when I started making them, and I stopped reading novels when I started writing them. I still listen to them. I consume a ton of television and movies, which is still fiction. All the same rules apply. You guys, so I've had like the best weekend. I need to sort of brag a little bit. Yesterday I went skating for a good while. I got out some sunlight. I got out for some time on the skateboard, which was great. This was the board I took out yesterday. Not my Zero. This is my Black Label Rebel Society, Black Rebel Skateboard Club, Black Rebel Skateboard Club. I love the logo they've got. This one I covered with stickers. This is one of my first boards. Independent trucks, hollow Kingpin, I think they are, stage 11s. And so I've had the best weekend. I worked out today, got to go skating yesterday, but here's a really good thing I did. Between the time I recorded last night's video and when I went to bed, I wrote 11,600 words. Two chapters, one 2,000 word chapter and one, it's 11,000, no, I wrote 3,000 words last night. I've written 11,600 words over the past week. Last night I wrote 3,000 words just last night. 2 chapters. One 2,000 word chapter, 1,000 word chapter. And those are pretty big for me. I usually like to keep them around 600 words. Where I'm thinking comic book chapters, meaning a 3 to 4 page scene in a comic. That's what I'm aiming for. I don't want 10-page scenes. I don't want, that's kind of static for a comic. And I should explain what's happening here. This is right after the raid on Venarium when Conan was 15, and it's just happened. It's literally just happened. There's some exposition about Atlantis and whatnot coming up, but here he sees a guy getting attacked by 3 people, and he comes down to join him, and Aesir. Now this is when Aesir and Vanir were still people. Thor is a son of an Aesir chieftain. Frey was an Aesir chieftain. Odin was the Allfather, an Aesir chieftain. Here Conan comes down to aid one of these guys who's being attacked by 3 people. And here we get a lot of these images have been used throughout the years. I've seen so many of these over and over. I've seen this picture 100 million times. Down here on the bottom, at least. There's more. Hold on, there's more. The fighting isn't as crisp and as displayed as I would like. It's still good. It's very good. That's what I got to write last night. I got to write my character, Ashley, fighting the security guards in a hospital. It was fucking awesome. It's so much fun. It's literally, I got to write the scene for this. Only they're not quite this armored up. This was just a pinup that Jay did, but last night I got to write this scene. Oh my God, you guys, this is so much fun. And I also did this. I did this last night. This is my character, Desdemona. She's one of my first characters. I came up with her before Ashley. She's the one who can see demons. And this afternoon I did this. This is her first page where she gets to Los Angeles and she can see the demons. The demons give off a bunch of smoke and she can see them on the horizon. And she finds this demon house. If you guys can see this right here, this house has just got a bunch of smoke coming off of it. She jumps the fence and she opens the sliding glass door. This is so much fun. This is so much fun. I can't. Now look, I could have gotten into comics before the culture war. I probably could have fought really hard and gotten into it. And I think I would have been miserable. I don't think I'm someone who could draw for another writer, and I don't think I'm someone who could have my writing fucked with the way the comic book industry fucks with white male writers right now. I discovered that. I wrote for Marvel for about 8 to 10 months. I submitted a bunch of scripts to them that I still have, got a bunch of compliments. The editors never gave me their names. They refused to even tell me who they were. So, you don't need me, I don't need you. And this is Marvel, but the Marvel that hired Roy Thomas and Barry Smith would have never hired me. It was an entirely different company. And maybe that's not true. There's a ton of guys who worked in comics for the last 20 or 30 years, and all of them seem miserable about it. And let's just face it, it's all anti-white propaganda. They don't want this anymore. And we talked about this yesterday, I blame Image. Because they threw story out the window, and that was the thin end of the wedge. So here we have Conan fighting a group of Vanir who are attacking this Aesir guy. The Aesir is the blonde. And there's actually a gang of them, and they run off, and they hide somewhere nearby while this Aesir guy, his crew, comes forward and sort of welcome Conan into their tribe, as it were. This guy, his name isn't Varg, his name is Wolf something. Wolf and his second in command tell their tribesmen that they are going to go up the mountain and seek favor with the gods. What they're really doing is abandoning them. Now that Conan and that Aesir, whose name I don't remember, have escaped, that then they're going to get their comrades. They're afraid that they're going to be outnumbered and attacked. And so they go off seeking the favor of the gods. They're really just abandoning their friends. That's really what they're doing. That's what the exposition says. That's what Roy Thomas wrote. And they happen to stumble into this temple inside a mountain cave with this old wizard and a hot chick, and they have a special gem that is giving them special power and allowing them to call on the future and the past, and he can see all kinds of stuff, but he has to make a sacrifice to it. And he charges Wolf and the other guy. He tells them he wants to sacrifice Conan to the gem, and they have to get him and bring him back. Just kind of absurd. Here we get a pin-up. I'm not super impressed with the writing in this book. I thought it was going to be the Siege of Venarium. I was really excited about seeing a big Conan against the Romans comic. That's what I thought the first one issue was. This is much more sword and sorcery, heavy on the sorcery. So look, if you had to pick between the Iliad and the Odyssey, I definitely pick the Iliad. The Iliad is feats of courage and athletic prowess. The Odyssey is challenges of strategy and tactics against otherworldly beings. And that's what this becomes, strategy and tactics against magic. And which is kind of a shame because Conan, the tactics and strategy of the sword, is much more fun. It's much more, that's what makes Conan so cool, was how grounded in reality he was. The way the Iliad was. There's a little bit of magic, but it's on the perimeter, it's on the edges. And if you don't truck in magic, you don't have to worry about paying magic's price. Conan is a purist in a world of cheats. And that's why trust is the founding theme of most of these stories. Trust is what the plot revolves around. Who do you trust and when, and how much do you trust them? So here, these guys get attacked. This gem sends these flying birdmen at them. After the Wolfmen, Wolf and his comrades attack Conan, they also get these Red Raven characters attacking them. Edgar Bulwer-Lytton, that was his name, the coming race. That's really what they're drawn like. And I love it. It's awesome. I wish there was more of that in the Conan comics. I don't know what that was. I didn't read it. But here we get the Red Raven characters. Edgar, I don't know, Bulwer-Lytton's The Coming Race. That's what these are. That's how those were drawn. That's how these are drawn. They're basically red devils. And they come out of the gemstone. This Conan picture gets used all the time. If you guys can see that, that one gets used all the time. There's a whole bunch of these that I've seen over and over and over again. And I'm going to flip back through this dry-ass book and points out some of the ones that I've seen over and over and over again. So far, it's just those. All right, we've already seen this page. So, this is great. This page over here. I didn't hold this up long enough. Let's just silently meditate on how good Barry Windsor Smith's art is. Not just because it makes me feel good. Not just because I'm a narcissist and I look exactly like Barry Windsor Smith's Conan. It's actually good art. The cross-hatching here, look at how it's all the contour lines. And you know what I did notice in this book is that the colorist is putting the zip tones, the shadows, over the contours, which is good, interesting. Is Barry his own colorist? Barry Windsor Smith is listed as the artist and Dan Adkins is his embellisher. There's not a colorist per se, so maybe a lot of it is done by Mr. Smith. And here we get this girl, Conan's in prison. This girl is the wizard's sort of servant. Again, Conan gets captured. He gets captured every time, almost without fail. And here he's watching the wizard scan through the ancient past and the present and the future and the far future. And they see Atlantis. They see the flood where Atlantis is lost. They see Conan winning his own crown, putting it on his own head, much the way Napoleon did. I didn't watch the whole movie of the Joaquin Phoenix one, but I did watch the Rod Steiger Napoleon. It's free on YouTube. I think it was 1970, because I have a scene in Waterloo with my angels. And Napoleon really storms up during the coronation and seizes the crown from I think it was a bishop, and puts it on his head. It wasn't, I mean, I get that it's a movie scene to express some emotional impact, but that might not be how it actually happened. I suppose it doesn't matter, does it? Does it matter that the Forum in Rome was under construction when Caesar was killed, and he was killed on the stairs of Pompeii's theater? Does it really matter that it wasn't in the actual Forum when they do all the movies? So what's happening here? Conan breaks out of his prison cell. Did we already see that? Did I skip past that? Oh no. Oh yeah, it's this scene right here. This one right here is where he breaks out. So this is where they see all the future stuff, astronauts and whatnot, and then Conan kicks the wooden bars out of his cell and attacks the wizard. And really, this is a very simple comic. All he has to do is smash the gem and everything is safe, which he does. But it also causes the girl to evaporate in his arms. It causes the bad guys to evaporate, the red-winged demons. Their energy is diminished, but so is the girl's. The wizard was going to sacrifice the girl and Conan to the stone. Instead, she just dies. That happens here. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I spoiled this page for you guys. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Now, here's my question. So this is the end. Conan's on his own. He's seen the prophecy. Someday he'll be king. He could have gotten that, he could have gotten that a million ways. I would have much rather seen the Siege of Venarium. Venarium sounds less like a venereal disease if it's venarium instead of venerium. But I am now curious, what is the Shadow of the Vulture? Is that a story upcoming? Did that get moved to Conan's saga? Was it eventually a Savage Sword? I was looking at some digital Savage Swords the other day, and the proportions are a lot different. Those pages are a lot wider than regular comics pages. But, yeah, how do you not... Now, this is Barry Windsor Smith's first Conan. He'd done some X-Men issues before that. I don't know how many. 4 or 12, I don't know. But a few. I remember hearing that when he took his first assignment from Marvel, it was the summer in New York, and he was drawing in the park. He didn't have anywhere else. Because he was out from England. So, Conan number 22. Actually a reprint of number 1. How lucky are we? Alright, so I read 2 of these, and they kind of go together. So in an effort to no longer extend our delay, this is Conflicted Deck 1, cards the 10 of Spades and the 4 of Hearts. The 10 of Spades was list 5 crimes at the end of the world that should be punishable by death, and why. Well, there's some crimes right now that are punishable by death in the moment. If someone tries to rob you, you can shoot them. So, there's one, right? What else is there after that at the end of the world? And this says, I don't even remember now. What does this say? This says that the electromagnetic pulse goes off. No, it's not an electromagnetic pulse. This one says a deadly virus is coming to your city, and you have time to bug out ahead of it, and your only car has been stolen, and it's winter, and it's getting cold, and to leave on foot, you would freeze to death. What do? Do you steal someone else's car? What do? Well, you don't steal a car from a person, you steal a car from an institution. You steal a car from a business, from a hospital, from a school, from a car rental company. There's a lot of places you can steal a car from and not be taking someone else's means of transportation. And those cars are less likely to be reported stolen. They're also more likely to probably be properly cared for in some cases. They're probably easier to get to and easier to steal. There's an answer to everything if you want to get creative. So yeah, Conan we did. Again, I'm super proud of this page. Now this is just rough pencils. You can't see the Los Angeles skyline up here, but she's watching it. These are her eyes. She's over here, raising her hand to her eyes to look across the city and see where all the smoke is coming from. And this is the character. I will do a tighter version when I get her into the computer with inks and whatnot. And then I will light her and shade her. So, again, like 3,000 words in the last 24 hours. That's pretty fucking good. And almost 12,000 words for the entire week. So this is in our description. Feel free to check it out. Ashley Fox, Ninja Babysitter, The Last Valkyrie. There's a whole bunch of links in the description. And Michael Sarion, anyone who found this through Michael Sarion, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you. Michael Sarion is a huge influence. I love how he notes his references in his footnotes. Connor McDarry I'll always hear that name in his voice. And what else we have? A bunch in the movie... In the videos under this channel, we have a bunch of videos on comic books. John the Homicidal Maniac, we did that series. There's a whole bunch. We're going to do more. Yesterday, I did Secret number 1. I'll probably do the rest of them. And I may even compare Secret number whatever to this Conan comic from 50 years ago and point out the differences. Maybe. We'll see. I've still got some more Conans, and there's more in the mail. So... I'm going to draw some more tonight and watch Trashcast and talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.